Holy shit, what have we done with these micro intraday snake algo snakes? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck. This is Xtreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Thursday, April 28th, 2022. And this is the AMC, GME, and SPY Algo Exposed daily update and preparation video for tomorrow, TGIFF and beyond. As always, I hope you had a great day in the market today. I hope you made some freaking money today. My premium Discord, my general Discord, absolutely crushed it again. This micro intraday snake method and theory is playing out so well right now. It's unbelievable. Macro comparatives are playing out. The intra-week snakes are playing out. Everything is dead on right now. Super happy with it. Super proud of it. And I hope that you all were able to capitalize on the market volatility again today and make some money. With all that said, I'm hyped up if you can't tell. I want to go over all the regulars that I always go over, my snake algos, snake algo methods for AMC, GME, and SPY, as well as macro comparatives. So, with all that said, let's dig in. On your screen is AMC and my micro intraday snake algo and snake algo method. AMC finished the day down 1.32% at 1564. It is down an additional 2.05% at 1532. On your screen, the yellow is on top of today's movement is my micro intraday snake algo and snake algo method. And it was deadly today. Deadly today. Again. And again. And again. And again. And again. This thing is crazy, y'all. Here's where it is. What it ended up being was, and what I did here was clipped yesterday in its entirety to show you the difference a little bit. Not much. You could have laid this on just as is, clipped from yesterday, and it would have given a pretty good projection. I think there were 3 inverted mirrorings within this that would have it could have destroyed you had you been scalping the moves. But nonetheless, what it ended up working out to be was a half divert again, which started with the morning being a mirror from yesterday, and it diverted at 10 a.m. and then from 10 a.m. on, it was a mirrored and flipped of the remaining from yesterday, 10 a.m. on. Mirrored and flipped. And that's what it ended up being the rest of the day. Absolutely dead on. Dead on, dead on. The intra-week snakes, I talked to y'all in last night's video about the 2 of them, dependent upon where I had placed the previous one to have it expire and be fulfilled. One of the red clip would have been the Tuesday clip with a 1-day overlap into Monday, and this would have been yesterday's clip with a 1-day overlap into Tuesday. And both of them have been, let me move the micros out of the way, both of them fulfilled today. The indication moving into tomorrow from this perspective of the intra-week snakes looks to potentially be, according to the red one, would be consolidation, a short-term move upside, and looks like first thing in the morning, and then market open tomorrow, it looks like downside, maybe some volatility, consolidation by the end of the day tomorrow. Yeah, so it looks like almost, from what I can tell, midline consolidation for the red one tomorrow, right? And then the orange one, which was yesterday's clip with a 1-day overlap, the indication from it is a bounce right here and the move upside, followed by this potential pullback or a portion of it by tomorrow afternoon, end of day. Here, so you can see it. And here it is, so you can see it. All right. Then the macro comparative for AMC. As you know, it's from the macro descending wedge prior to the January 2021 run-up, and it is the macro double that was inside of that, as you see in blue. We are currently right here inside of that. This red line is the macro descending third pull from my macro box top method and the previous macro box top. We are, and I had talked about this leading up to it. We know now, right? I've talked about, I'm not going to clip it and show you again, but this here real price action was a exact replica and an inverted mirroring of this bottom in this upside. And I had talked about one of two things here, this either bouncing and converging back with the blue macro comparative to some extent and start making a move to the upside to potentially put in this double top prior to then this pullback, or it continuing to the downside and putting in this double top as a double bottom here in this gap as a inverted mirroring of that. I had used this previous clip from right here, which was an inverted mirroring in itself of the macro comparative over here. And this thing is fulfilling perfectly. Right? There it is. There it is. So the only question I have potentially in my mind for this is, unless this candle continues downside here to fulfill this downside move, if it's not that, it could be this consolidation area, and maybe this was a little inverted, right? A little staggered, but inverted, and now maybe some consolidation here, and then the downside move. But let's just, for the sake of comparing this to the snakes, right? What we're looking at from the macro comparative is essentially what we're looking at with the current intra-weekly snakes. The red one would indicate this move, maybe this move up that it's already in right now, followed by continuation downside, right? Underneath, between the macro descending third and the megaphone support, right here, between the macro descending third and the megaphone support. Or a move to the upside right here, consolidation, and then a continuation upside, just like the orange snake is showing. A move to the upside, then consolidation, and then continuation to upside. So these are very comparative to what these are showing. Almost spot on, perfect tandem micro, if you will, even though this is meant to be viewed on the 1 hour, a micro to mid time frame movement of what macro comparative is potentially showing here. That's what I'm looking at with AMC. GME, I do not have macro comparative for it, but I do have the two snakes very similar to AMC, and they both as well. Actually, this is exactly the same as what I have AMC snakes pulled. They are both fulfilling currently at the moment as well, right? Here's this one. Here's this one. The indication is a little bit different from them. Obviously, the red one's indicating this bounce and the move to the upside, whereas the orange is indicating the downside and then the bounce off of the macro descending third pull from the previous macro box top in this chart of the GME chart. Obviously, then what you can see moving out ahead of that then is very similar movements. There are some inverted mirroring here, obviously an inverted mirroring here, but they are essentially the same consolidative movements with a macro generalized perspective. So that's what I'm looking at potentially with GME. And then last but not least, oh, you weren't supposed to see that. No, I'm kidding. Last but not least, SPY. The intraday micro snake on SPY today was absolutely freaking dead on as well. Dead on. There it is. There's the projection and the fulfillment of it. SPY, real quick, I forgot to tell you, GME finished the day down 0.41% and is down 0.82 in after hours at 128.25. SPY finished the day up 2.53%. It was, I believe, up 2.8 at its intraday high, 2.8%. At 429, I had the neckline break here at 429, and it respected it and broke hard to the downside. It's currently down 0.8% in after hours at 424.38. As I was saying, the snake was absolutely freaking dead on. I can't get enough of this intraday micro snake. I mean, these things are unbelievable, unbelievably accurate. So anyways, that's what it ended up projecting and fulfilling today. Looking at this from the intra-week snakes or snake and the macro comparative, the intra-week snake is the yellow that has been projecting and fulfilling for 3.5 weeks now, almost 4 weeks now. Here it is. I talked about this in the video. Somebody actually took a clip of it and put it on Twitter where I was talking about how this could potentially fulfill in this box top in the middle of this macro W that's forming down here, potentially. And that's what happened here. The move went up. It was to be looked at in this position where this is what it is indicating. And that box top now is being fulfilled up here at the 429. It did reject off the 429. So what I am potentially looking at from the intra-week snake with SPY is if it is to continue to follow the yellow snake, I would expect maybe a short-term move back upside for another attempt, right, at a box top here, which typically puts in an M and a ravine up to the 429, and then potentially the rejection off the 429 and back downside to maybe, hopefully, finish out this macro W. Then I would have to expire this snake that has led what at that time would be 4 weeks, which is crazy. Fulfilled, projected and fulfilled for 4 weeks. I would have to clip another one, which is fine, but that would fulfill it in its entirety at that point. So if it were to continue to follow the intra-week snake, that is potentially what I would see it doing. Or I believe it could just come straight down out of there right now without the bounce and the move back to the upside to the 429 area. I think it could drop right down out of there and it would still be, in my opinion, fulfilled. Then looking at the macro comparative, it is from the 08-09 correction and crash in the extended version, which we have been looking at for quite some time on here. And where we are at in it, I like to view it on the 4-hour, is right here. Now that move up, this is something I might maybe compress a little bit. You can see that it happened a little prior to where it was indicating. If this is the peak here, the peak was indicating here, but nonetheless, it's making the move up in the ascending manner like that was indicating. Now, moving forward from that perspective, it is indicating maybe this pullback right here, which it's experiencing now. some consolidation, then the move up to the peak, if that's not already the peak. If that is already the peak, and this is something that needs to be viewed just like this, then it would indicate the exact same thing that the snake indicates. And that is this move down into the bottom of this W, the right side of this W here. Now, I do not believe that would all happen tomorrow. We would just get this top portion of it potentially happening tomorrow, unless this were to completely dump out on either the first or the second 4-hour candle tomorrow. So that is what I'm looking at from the macro comparative perspective and the potential projection from that. What I had on here initially that I showed you, or that you saw, was the clip from today. If this 429 does not provide the resistance and keep this thing underneath it to where price action follows the snake and the macro comparative in this manner back to the downside, then I would have, and it were to divert and continue and to go upside, I would have to clip today's 5-minute chart for my next intra-week chart, or intra-week snake and projection. And if I did that, this would be the clip. And if I placed that on today's price action for my 1-day overlap, that is essentially what it would give me. This is my macro third, sitting up here waiting for it. My macro ascending third in this bullish scenario, whereas this is my descending third from my previous macro box top. This is the axis point that gives the highs and the lows as potential projections. Now, there was a hit on this third already here. So the indication is that this could be already invalidated by this hit. However, I've left it out here just in case. And now looking at this, I see that there could be a potential for that if this were to go continuation to the upside and break out of and over the 429. I'm having a hard time talking. Bear with me, yo. Anyways, that's what I'm looking at. That's what that is. We'll approach that if and when the 429 breaches to the upside, or if price action breaches the 429 to the upside. That is something that I will be looking at, obviously, more intently. It was just happened to be on there. We were talking about it in my premium Discord before I ended the day in there. So that's what I got for this video. I appreciate it if y'all made it to the end of the video. Quick reminder, I will be live here tomorrow, but I won't be live until 2 p.m. We always do the Friday Beer 30 weekly wind down starting at 2 p.m. from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. for the last couple hours of the market, and we kick back, have a drink, and watch the last 2 hours together and close out the week in a good way. So I will be live here for that tomorrow here on YouTube and on Twitch from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So I hope to see y'all there. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Do y'all's thing if you made it to the end of the video. Like the video, comment on the video. Would greatly appreciate that. Thank you. I'll see y'all in social media land, in the cesspool of trash. I appreciate y'all out there in the comments, and all y'all out there putting the good news out. Let's call it that. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later.